Hey everybody, this is Max with The Pleasure of Writing, and recently we have been messing around with wax seals for your corresponding pleasure here at the shop and online as well. And we thought we'd give you a quick little inkling about what the process is about getting this done. Obviously back in the day before there was self-adhesive glue on envelopes, this would be the way that you would seal an envelope before sending it off. People had sigil rings or signet rings and official seals that they could use to press into the wax, making sure that if it was undisturbed, that meant that your message got to where it was going without anyone else interfering with it and who was reading it. And you too can give your messages today the same level of privacy and certainty that it got there without being intercepted by anybody. So what I'm doing right now is melting wax in a special little spoon. It's not really a special spoon, it's just a spoon. And basically any wax sealing kit that you yourself come up with needs essentially three things. You need wax, of course, you need a heat source, and you need a seal of some kind. A seal can be anything. A seal can be your thumbprint if you're strong enough and you are impervious to heat, but we wouldn't recommend that. We would recommend something along these lines. This is one of the seals that, just like the ones that we sell here at the shop and on our online store. Really well made, really simple to use. As we sit and watch this wax melt, you might have also seen, when you looked into wax sealing, some wax seal or some waxes come like this with a wick in them, and the idea would be that you would light that wick almost like a candle, and then as it melted, the wax would drip off of the block here and make it onto the envelope, and that's where you would press your seal. You can do it that way. I find that the wax tends to melt just slowly enough that those first few drips tend to cool off quicker than the last few ones that you need when you're getting a good pool to do the seal in. It's really personal preference. If that works for you, that's great. I personally prefer to chop up my wax into little chunks like this, and I'll keep them aside. And then when I'm ready to put down a seal, I can just throw a couple of pieces into this spoon, melt it all down, and then get that all onto the envelope in one shot. I tend to use probably more wax than most people do because, like everything in my life, it has to be way overblown and ridiculous and over the top. Again, it's personal preference, much like everything that we do here. I mean, it's the whole idea about getting into fountain pens, getting into high-end writing instruments and this kind of thing here. It's kind of an expression of who you are. So whatever works for you, whatever you like best, is what you should go with. I think we're just about ready here. And of course, waxes come in all sorts of different colors, and you can get customized seals, all sorts of stuff. This is gonna all be customized in every different way. I like this gold wax myself, and I like these seals that I have here. So we're gonna give this a shot here. I'm gonna put all this down right there, and of course you would seal this, but for demonstration's sake, I'm gonna leave that open for right now and show you the power of the wax seal. We're gonna hold this down, and I'm just gonna put a healthy dollop of this wax right here, where the top part of the envelope meets the bottom. Put that aside for a second, and it's wax. It's not gonna do anything bad to anybody, so don't worry too much about it. And then always make sure that your seal is pointed the right way up. I'm gonna do this upside down because I'm facing the camera, but you wanna put that right in the center there, let it come down. And if you watch this in a film or on TV, you might have seen somebody do that and then come away immediately and admire their handiwork. That can happen. I would not recommend it. It's very rare that it works out that way. What you want to do, and you look at these seals, and they're designed in this way that you kind of look at it and you go, of course, this is what they're for. But you put this down and you just walk away for like a minute. Give it a minute to cool off. Even after then, when you go to pull the seal off of the wax, it may be a little bit sticky if you don't let it dry completely. That's fine too. It'll come loose. Don't worry about that. But it's wax. Most of us have come across wax in our lives. Most of us are familiar with the behavior of wax. You know, it's not going to stay hot forever. I can see right now, just by how the glossiness of the melted wax is starting to go a little bit matte, that it's already starting to cool down. And as I kill time and talk enough that I can let the wax cool down so we can get to it, yeah, I think we're just about getting there now. So let's take a look. And maybe you're doing several of these at once. Maybe you're doing invitations. Maybe you have a couple different seals. You can do one, put that aside, do the next one, get that going. Let's give it a shot. So gently, again, you don't want to go nuts with it. This is, once the wax hardens, you're fine. You're not going to be able to smear it, anything like that, but it does need to be hard. So make sure you don't do it too early. And there you go. This is our, these are our arms here at The Pleasure of Writing. And again, it's just, I think it's a great thing. Every letter that I send now, I use a wax seal like this just because it's one more step that kind of makes things a little bit more personal. It shows that you care, it shows that you're thinking about what you're doing. There's a certain kind of mindfulness to it. And I think it's really beautiful. And again, it puts a level of personalization onto it that you just really couldn't get otherwise. Anyway, pretty straightforward stuff, but good thing to think about. Again, cleanup is also super easy because this is wax and coming off of the metal, it's almost nothing. In fact, you can wait for it to cool off and then use it again later, obviously, if you have enough in there. Or if you don't want to wait while it's still melted and liquefied, you can take a paper towel, wipe it out of your spoon, and your spoon's pristine. It's wax. It's not going to get in anything. Be a little careful around carpet. You don't want wax to get into any fibrous stuff because once it's in there, kind of hard to melt out. Other than that, can't recommend it enough. Really should be a part of your corresponding process. And any and all accoutrement that you need to make this happen, you can find at thepleasureofwriting.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We will speak to you soon.